I've always been interested in expanding my consciousness, so I recently started researching the Gateway process released by the U.S. Army in collaboration with the Monroe Institute in the 1970s, declassified, I believe, in the early 2000s, but there was also a report done on it by the CIA, and it's basically breathing techniques, meditative techniques to achieve a higher level of consciousness. Now, I read about the how-tos, and candidly, I will say I wish I'd done more research before this experience, but I'm going to continue to research. As a kid, I would astral project rather often, and I hated it. I hated falling through floors, I hated floating, I hated flying, I hated all of it, and I trained myself to not do it. So I do this process, and crazy shit happened, dude. Crazy fucking shit. So I did a meditation course in college, so I'm very familiar with meditation, but I think it's really different to fall into a meditative state like in public versus in private. And so I did it here in my living room, I did the whole ritual, and I just could see so much. I could I was having visions with my eyes closed. I had a vision of basically being in this desert, yellowy, fiery desert, and there were fragmented souls, and there were skeleton creatures feeding off of the souls and harvesting energy, and the souls were tethered and boxed, and myself as a armored warrior freed my own soul fragments with a sword. This sounds crazy. I don't even care. It's my truth. And the shit we know in the world is only 1%. So this is my experience, and I'm not going to gaslight myself. But I basically scooped up my own soul's essence, and I climbed this blue mountain. The only mountain I've seen similar to it is in the movie Frozen. That blue mountain Elsa goes on. And I climb up the mountain, and I get there, and I'm feeling lighter. As the mountain, I can feel the weight of something beneath me, and I can also feel the weight of me holding something. I get up to the top of the mountain, and there's familiar people. I've only experienced that one other time when I think a spirit guide visited me. I made a story on that. And they said, "Oh, thank God, we thought you were a goner." And I'm like, "What?" And they said, they almost had you convinced that you were one of them and that you belonged down there. And I look over at this wasteland, and it's a desert, but there's definitely no sun, and it's rustic orange and smoking, and I can just see it looks like carcasses, but they're just soul fragments. And a tunnel appears on this mountain, and it looks like the Coraline tunnel, kind of. It's I think it was purpley and blue, and these familiar people say to me, "You have 3 choices. You can either go back down there, fuck no, you can continue on with us, or you can enter this tunnel for a second chance at sovereignty and spiritual warfare." 2 words I really don't think about very often, frankly. I'm not into church. Anyway, I jumped in that tunnel. I jumped so quickly in that tunnel, and it spiraled around me, and it enveloped me, and all of a sudden, I was in deep space. This is 3.5 minutes, so let me know if you want a part 2 on what happened when I ended up in space in my meditative journey.